it's a pretty crazy story. I went to sleep April 14th, 2014, and I woke up 8 days later in the hospital with 6 broken vertebrae. And they still have not figured out how or why. And the answer in my head is those are Western questions and it doesn't matter because I'm better. They told me I won't get better, that I'll be on morphine for life, and they were going to do a really nasty surgery where they were going to fuse 13 of my vertebrae, which means I never would have moved again. I probably wouldn't be here. I definitely wouldn't be in Mexico, but I probably wouldn't be in this life if that would have happened. But now I live a pain-free life, and I find it quite remarkable every day when I wake up that I just can breathe and be happy and give my gift to people.
That's nice. Jai Gurudev, everybody. So today I'm here in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta and Villananda. I'm with Peter, also called Peter Bones. He just gave me a very nice treatment, and well, I thank you for taking the invitation, first of all, and secondly, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself. What is your work?
My work these days is based on working with disabled children. I've developed a process from healing from my own injuries to find a way to release trauma from babies and disabled children that basically changes their lives. And I've documented quite a few cases already where I've worked with cerebral palsy, Down syndrome,
Even brain dead.
one even brain dead. My first child in India in 2018 that we have documented was considered brain dead when I started, and within 40 days was walking. So that got me on my path to realizing that I have a very special gift. And now I'm in Mexico. I'm working with 5 different children with 5 different problems, and we're getting basically remarkable success on every child, which is a very unique thing about my gift. I worked on many adults from spinal muscular atrophy, ALS, some I don't even know, they didn't have a label yet, and with success.
So all very difficult illness which apparently partially also don't have any cure.
True.
Partially.
That's the general Western consensus is there's no cure, and they can barely even cover the symptoms with their medications. There's not really any success rate with those type of illnesses from Western perspective. But I've discovered a way to do it, and it seems to have 99.5% success rate.
Well, I saw the pictures, it seems quite obvious. You told me a little bit about your injuries, like you had your spine broke. No, like I let you tell, because I don't really.
It's a pretty crazy story. I went to sleep April 14th, 2014, and I woke up 8 days later in the hospital with 6 broken vertebrae. And they still have not figured out how or why. And the answer in my head is those are Western questions and it doesn't matter because I'm better. They told me I won't get better, that I'll be on morphine for life, and they were going to do a really nasty surgery where they were going to fuse 13 of my vertebrae, which means I never would have moved again. I probably wouldn't be here. I definitely wouldn't be in Mexico, but I probably wouldn't be in this life if that would have happened. But now I live a pain-free life, and I find it quite remarkable every day when I wake up that I just can breathe and be happy and give my gift to people.
That's nice. So you met a healer at that time who...
Yes, I have to give credit actually first to Father Joe, because Father Joe, I broke my back a long time ago, and he showed me the miracle of healing by just touching my back and making 18 years of pain go away. So then when I broke my back again, the first time I knew how I did it, this time I didn't. and I met a gentleman by the name of Juan Flores, and he happens to be an ayahuasca specialist or master. His wife and him are both from Long Line. They run a place called the Boiling River Project in Peru. And I met this guy, and the Western people had told me I'd be with my walker for 2 years, minimum 2 years, or think 2 years. And I met him one day, and he told me through the interpreter that first he said 6 months, not 2 years. Then he told me 3 months, not 6 months, not 2 years. And I met with him the next day, and we did a ceremony. And I did microdose ayahuasca for 3 months. And after those 3 months, I didn't need my walker anymore. So I have to give full credit to the plant medicine and to Juan Flores and his wife and whoever else has helped me along the way.
The Great Spirit.
The Great Spirit that's been guiding me and giving me guidance. And a very interesting thing happened recently that I go to my meditation place when I need help with a certain, if someone's got a real serious problem, and I get the answer. And last time I went to check my book to see what I needed to know, they told me that I don't need to come back and read that book anymore, that I have a new book to read. And then I found out that I have to become a teacher, because I think there's nothing better in the world than working with the children. But it's kind of selfish that only I do it.
Yeah.
If
You
I
won't
don't,
last forever.
I'm not going to last forever, and if I don't spread it, it stops with me, and I don't think it should. And I have a great partner now, Joanna, that has caught on to this thing, and we're going to go forward with creating a program for kids. Hopefully it goes worldwide. That's the goal. You know, think big or go.
So that basically parents can help their children directly when they have such strong
From extreme problems to even
minor ones.
minor ones. It's worked on absolutely everything. And the reason I didn't say 100% is because I did have a few clients that it didn't work on. There was 3 of them. And I figured it out is because they didn't want to get better. There's some people that like sympathy because they get attention. And if they don't have their pain, they don't get the attention. So I felt guilty that I couldn't help them, but then I realized that not everybody wants help. It was a good lesson for me. And
Yeah, you have to want to change also.
you have to want to change. That's the biggest thing. And when I'm working on most of my clients, they're already almost always on a path looking to get something changed. They're not, and so that means when I help them, they're going to do something with it. They're going to continue the work on their own. Because I teach them some breathing technique, and if you continue to do it, it's just like magic. It just works. It's the magic of the body. I just open up the magic of the body.
And then the body does it by itself.
And the body does it by itself, because we have it inside us. It's all, everybody has it.
So basically, just to recap, you got twice your spine broken, which means it's an absolute miracle twice that you're even sitting here now straight with me, talking, that you gave me a treatment, yeah, and it's just amazing. So that's why I really wanted to interview you, because who knows who's watching it and might also be in a situation where he thinks like it's without any hope, to see that like everything is possible if there's so much.
This is my spine. This is the MRI of my spine. So if you see all the broken ones, I have no pain. So, and this one that doesn't show is actually in my spinal column, was touching my spinal cord, but it shifted a 0.5 millimeter. So it's not touching the spinal cord anymore. And that's when you know you have pain. So now I have no pain. So I get to go do my work, and the more kids I meet, and I get to stay in beautiful locations like this. We see there's whales out there. Oh no, that's a person. They were in close. Thought I got a lucky
A
whale
big
shot.
person.
A big person, yeah. And I don't know if I should mention it or not, but people in Canada don't get my work. People in Mexico love my work. People in Europe love my work. But somehow Canadians don't.
Well,
But thank you for pushing me to Mexico.
well, I think if somebody really needs help, then they will do everything possible, and I will definitely also put a link or something how to get somehow in touch with you in the description of this video. Another thing which you told me about your life, which I think is also very important for people who could help them. You told me when I asked you how did you get on this spiritual search in general, like were you always like open for all those things, or how did you live your life before you actually got injured, or like, before you found a new approach?
My new approach, I'll have to thank my ex-wife actually, because she left, and we were both party people. We drank a lot, and I was sitting by myself in my room, and I'm thinking to myself, I have two ways I can go on this journey. I can continue my drinking and sit in the bar and be the guy that cries about his ex-wife leaving. I see that road. And then I thought, what if I do a different road? So I stopped drinking on my own. I just turned off. I never had another drink for 14 years. And then I met a yoga teacher, Andrea. And through Andrea, I started my journey teacher training. I started going to yoga twice. I got totally addicted. I went to class twice a day for a year straight. Then I took my 2-year teacher training. Then I took a 1-year teacher training with Heart Laser. Then I started going to India to see my main teacher, Father Joe. And Father Joe was the first person that introduced me to what I call magic. That when I broke my back, I was in pain for 18 years before I started yoga, and I tried everything. And my first yoga class, I knew there was something different about it, that it worked in my body. So then Father Joe, right in front of a group, we were in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, brought me up in front of the class, put my body in a certain position, put his hand on my back, started talking about Mother Teresa, BKS Iyengar, Jesus, and all of a sudden, boop, a little click happened in my spine, and all my 18 years of pain went away.
Wow.
So then I figured, well, okay, I'm going to follow Father Joe for a while, and so I started to go to India, and I volunteered over there at his centers, and I became a Kripa Foundation Iyengar teacher, which is a little different than Iyengar yoga teacher, but it's the same philosophy. And then things started to change. So I broke my back again. No, then I broke my back in 2014. And I went through, I think it was 4 years. I don't really remember now, I'd have to go, of really nasty pain. Nasty, where you're on morphine. But I slowly weaned myself off the morphine, which was a major success in itself. And I started to discover that I can do things with children. When I was first introduced to a child in India, I thought maybe an arm or a leg I'd go fix. And I get there, and actually the child was brain dead. And I picked him up anyway, and then 40 days later, 4 or 5 things later, we have it all documented that he went from being brain dead to being a regular child in 40 days. So it was, changed my life. It's like, who am I? And then all the questions came, the who am I's and the ego boosts, and so I had to get all that. That was a journey in itself, trying to calm the ego down, that I am just a servant of the master, as my teacher would say. And that's just what I'm here to do. And I have this wonderful gift, and I need to spread the word.
Nice. That's why we're here also. It's it's good to see, like, because really small decisions can make a big impact. Like I said, you could be now already dead on drugs or alcohol or whatever because you just got into the victim role, or you choose another direction and you take the addiction of
Well,
practicing, of getting more.
I was totally.
in touch.
I switched my alcohol to yoga addiction,
And-
everybody, oh, you're just addicted to yoga. I said, yeah, I am.
better.
The end
like-
result of my addiction is not so bad.
It's like when you get addicted to love of God, or addicted to some higher truths. It's definitely you don't have to battle anymore with the lower ones. And
Exactly.
And-
The high energy level people show up in your life. I never used to understand the difference between high energy people and low energy people. People who drink alcohol live in a low energy lifestyle.
this the alcohol itself, which
that's-
is
it's
just
just-
quality.
Yeah, so and then when you start to meet people at a higher level, you get to expand yourself because they're open to their energy, and it's quite magical.
And now you're here and you have a mission to help people who have maybe already lost all hope, and can help them have new hope and a new life actually.
Yes,
And that is very beautiful and inspiring.
Yes, thank you very much. And when I work on the children, it's magical. The baby energy is like nothing you felt before when it comes back, and the smiles on their faces and the shine in their eyes. It's magical.
Nice. Some last message or something, if somebody is watching this, which you would like to maybe say to somebody out there?
Yes.
Something in your heart.
Don't give up. Find something else that catches, even if it's just going for extra walks or smelling the flowers or just even little tiny things. Because I remember when I was healing that the first time I went for a walk and my pain levels were down enough, I could actually smell the flowers. Because if you're in a lot of pain or you're depressed, try it. You can't smell flowers. So I used to use this one trick where I would walk until I could smell the flowers. And then that's when you know you found a little bit of peace. And once you can find a little bit of it, you can find a little bit more. But it is a struggle, but the struggle is worth it. I was told many times that I'm just gonna, from Western perspective, you're just gonna have a horrible life and you're gonna be in pain forever, you gotta have a morphine addiction, all these stories that they tell you, but they're not really true unless you believe them. And another thing that I like to tell all my clients is, if they haven't put a label on you yet for what you have, don't take a label. Because as soon as they slot you into that label, you only get treated what's inside that box. And if you're not really in the box, but you're outside of that box, then they don't know what to do anyway. Well, there's my thing on Western medicine. I won't get into that, but I'll leave that one alone. That's a whole other subject. But thank you, Al. Another person, two people I'd like to thank is my surgeons for not doing surgery. It was a blessing. Thank you very much. And I wish I could talk to you and tell you about it, but they won't let me see you.
But so in essence, your message is don't give up, don't let yourself be put in a box, and
Find those little tiny pieces that just give you a little bit of happiness. That's just try to find
And
them,
expand them,
and
step
expand
by-
them. Just expand them. Realize that your loved ones really love you even when you're grumpy and your pain levels are so high you can't communicate. That's another big one, but that's another step is communication about what your pain is actually doing to you. Because if you don't talk about it, then depression and anxiety come up, and that's just anger inside. And I went through all that level too of how to get out of depression, and it's a tough journey, but the end of it is really beautiful.
it is doable.
It's
It is
totally doable. It's totally doable. I'll throw another credit into Dr. David Burns, who writes a book called I forgot. Anyway, it's Dr. David Burns.
We put it in the comments.
It was a book I read when I was depressed. It's a self-help book. Feeling Good. Feel Good by Dr. David Burns. There we go. This is my only book I've read, I think. I can't give any other credits because I don't read books.
I wish you a lot of success with your new project also, that parents can help their children, and yeah, if anybody feels or has anything, put it in the comment section that you can find him, or yeah, just ask, contact, and anyway, never give up, always keep going and trust in yourself and in God, the higher force which is with all of us. Yeah?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take it easy. Take it easy.